Hello, and welcome to License-Free TV. This channel is all about the TV license system in the United Kingdom. My submission to the House of Lords inquiry into BBC funding.
Question 1. How will new technologies and consumer habits change the future broadcasting landscape?
Less traditional viewing. It seems likely that the current move away from traditional linear broadcasters and towards streaming will continue. Streamers' success. Both the streamer's quality of content and the style of its presentation seem to be attractive to the UK public, and this in itself is placing stress upon the outdated TV license model of BBC funding. Technical innovation. Will there be further technical innovation so that live content like news might be suggested within streaming output? Content collators. There may be further progress in the development of content collation services that can make sense of what is fast becoming a bewildering array of different services.
Question 2. What is the purpose of a national broadcaster?
The filler of gaps. In the burgeoning marketplace for video content, it is hard not to begin to view the purpose of a national broadcaster as a filler of gaps. Hard to justify. They may comprise gaps in content provision, gaps between audiences, and gaps of affordability. But it's hard to justify the TV license and draconian enforces in the context of the ever less unique BBC. Identical content. There often exist multiple examples within the commercial domain of largely identical content to the BBC's, where the only limitations of the commercial content are findability and affordability. Finding and affording. In that context, findability is a question of information provision, and affordability is not something that the BBC should seek to chase with its allegedly limited resources. Purpose and prestige. Neither of these purposes point towards a premium, prestige broadcaster of all things.
Question 3. What principles and priorities should inform the choice of the BBC's funding model? And how would any alternative funding models affect what the BBC can provide?
Dismantling the license. My primary priority and principle for the funding of the BBC is the reform of the draconian and outdated enforcement methodology of the BBC's alter ego, TV licensing. Professional curiosity. Government must begin to be professionally curious about TV licensing for the protection of the public, and to reduce ongoing reputational damage to the BBC. Proper scrutiny. In particular, assurances should be required from the BBC as to the utility, necessity and efficiency of TV licensing and its methods. There should be no law enforcement without scrutiny and accountability. Inherent contradiction. The essential issue is that the BBC seems to believe that it has a duty to enforce the license, often through questionable means, whilst at the same time it knows that citizens are not under a general duty to cooperate. Recipe for conflict. This contradiction may possibly reflect a superficial reading of relevant law, but it doesn't make sense practically. It also leads to repeated, avoidable conflict on the nation's doorsteps. Two-tier society. The contradiction creates a two-tier society in which those, in the know, dismiss TV licensing, whilst others can find themselves facing demands to justify themselves and prove their innocence of offences.
Question 4. How should the BBC change over the next 5 years to adapt to evolving consumer habits and needs, and what does the corporation need to do to prepare for the future in the longer term?
Urgent decisions. Fundamentally, decisions need to be made now, in order to prevent the slow decline of the BBC due to migration of viewers to streaming. Public consultation. The public need to be consulted about the purpose, cost and governance of the BBC. This should seek to achieve maximum public input and avoid over-dominance by vested interests. Technical changes. The BBC must plan to move to conditional access. For some platforms, this will simply be a case of agreeing the necessary protocols with commercial platform providers. For others, it will be more involved. Freeview. With Freeview, a choice needs to be made between issuing new hardware and creating an alternate ad-funded BBC service. Both options present pros and cons. The ad-funded route means unprecedented choice.
Question 5. What actions and consultations are needed from the government to inform its future BBC funding plans?
Dismantle the license. The government should build upon its stated strategic view. In particular, it must not be distracted from the task of dismantling the outdated and unpopular TV license by vested interests. Other actions. It's possible that the government may need to encourage progress by placing constraints upon the TV licensing system. That it must act and communicate transparently, and that prosecutions must cease. If you have questions about the UK TV license, you can ask them by leaving a comment on this video. Alternatively, TV license resistance can help with more detailed, technical questions. Money-saving expert forums can also advise on more general license questions. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share or comment. Thanks for watching.